Hi, everybody. This is Ganesh. I am from FSM Global. So today's session, we are going to take on some of the topics surrounding artificial intelligence and field service management. To all the viewers, thank you so much for joining. And I have the pleasure of having with me today Mike Maggiacomo from Insight, our customer, who's going to answer some of the questions today on artificial intelligence and field service. Specifically, there is a lot of interest being created, and there's more opportunities and potential surrounding artificial intelligence, be it the neural networks, be it the deep learning, be it the complex mechanisms that artificial intelligence is going through. Maybe we wanted to have a quick session with you, Mike. Mike, thank you so much for joining. Mike, a brief background about Mike. Mike is a 25 plus years of experience professional with a lot of various, IT and technologies, specifically with Microsoft. And right now he's dabbling with artificial intelligence. And myself, I'm Ganesh Ramakrishnan. I'm the Senior Vice President with FSM Global. FSM Global is a solution provider for the field service management, specializing in field service and artificial intelligence. So with that, the objective of today's session is going to be more towards how we do what is AI and what is its impact on field service and how it is going to happen. So with that, without much further ado, I would like to have Mike share his perspective. Mike, how are you doing today?
Good, Ganesh. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Good. Very good. Thank you so much, Mike. So I would like to start off pretty quick with the advent of artificial intelligence. Obviously, it's a very good transformative potential with artificial intelligence and the impact. So with that, what do you think, what is the landscape of artificial intelligence according to you? And what is its impact on field service?
Sure. So when you think of artificial intelligence, it's sort of like having a very intelligent assistant, a virtual assistant that can do a lot of things for us. It can learn from a lot of information. It can make certain predictions, decisions that can help us do our work better. Specifically to field services, it can literally transform how we manage and solve our problems on a day-to-day basis by using the intelligence. And it'll allow us to make things easier and a bit faster, not only for us as the provider, but for everyone involved, technicians and clients. It can take all of the data that we house, and it can analyze it and find different patterns that some humans might miss. As we all know, if we do repetitive tasks, we feel like we're a little robot doing every little step, and we know exactly how to do it without following their directions. But we're human, and sometimes we miss that. And AI can help bridge that gap there, which will in turn make us, allow us to make better decisions and solve our problems more efficiently. And that's, I think, one of the biggest takeaways from AI is the ability to automate repetitive tasks. It frees up so much time and effort on the back end, where we can have the ability to do a lot more and be more productive on different areas within the business. And ultimately, we can provide, more of a personalized and proactive support for our clients. And we can pretty much anticipate their needs based on trends that AI can read and respond to and decipher and analyze. And over time, as we use it more, it'll help us learn more as it learns more. And it will become even smarter and more helpful as we use it.
Great. So you're leaning towards AI to be kind of a helper or a smart helper in your decision-making process, making sure that you automate all the repetitive tasks. That's one of the key takeaways that you mentioned. And then obviously the ability to analyze and crunch different parameters, complex data, and all the stuffs together. Great. So maybe delving on a little deeper, specifically with respect to field service, right? So field service management, we have seen over the past 20 plus years, it's evolved into different features and functionalities. But the core has always been for field service being in terms of, say, a scheduling, right? Or a dispatching, scheduling, making sure that you get the right schedules. You also make sure that you kind of automate this whole process. And dispatching, meaning being able to get the technicians, make sure that the dispatchers and technicians are coordinated in a fashion that they are all in sync. Having said that, if you look at the industry, there's always been kind of an evolution of automation going on. With that, having field service, scheduling, and dispatching in mind, how do you think that artificial intelligence in your world, in your view, would it really come handy in terms of field service management, specifically with scheduling and dispatching?
Right. So yeah, as far as scheduling, it's really important that you get all of the pieces together in order to provide the best customer service you can and make the client satisfied. So with AI, it can basically analyze, different factors such as the availability of a technician, what type of skills they have, their location and proximity to the site that they may be doing work at. It can optimize their schedules base it on and minimize their travel time and ultimately make them more efficient in the job that they need to do. And we can also think of it in terms of predictive maintenance, where a device can actually be monitored by AI and we can know before anybody else knows that that this device may be requiring maintenance. AI can actually take that and trigger and create a new work order for us. And eventually, depending on the complexity of it, I mean, we can dynamically dispatch all in one step. So pretty much the AI can take in the information, read the information of what's required, the customer requirements, and take the incoming request and identify the best technician that is the best suitable with the skills and, like I said, the proximity to the location, and dispatch them in real time. And in the meantime, we just have to monitor to make sure that that technician gets there on site on time and is properly equipped. As a technician does go, we all know that we run into unforeseen things, so it can have algorithms that can help optimize, let's say, their route from their location to the site. It can base it in real time based on weather, traffic, construction, and if they have multiple service appointments during the same day, space out that time so that travel is considered, which will reduce the miles driven and cut back on the fuel cost of a technician as well. And that's one of the big things that I think, if you think about an Uber app, where exactly where your Uber is at all times, and you think about it, that's AI telling you, here it is based on GPS, and they'll be there in 5 minutes, which is a huge benefit for the customer at times. Because if you think about the different types of clients that you might have, or we have, they may have to do it after hours, during business hours, and a lot of people, they want to make sure that they're on time and they get it done within the allotted time. And if we think about also considering different factors such as workload, expertise, availability, can allocate the resources intelligently, by getting the right technician assigned to the job. Make sure that that technician is qualified to do the job. If we have let's say we have a database of technicians that can't be used for a certain project or a certain client, AI can actually read that information and say this technician cannot be used, but is the best technician, and go on to the next based on those criteria. And like I said, if we have any unexpected changes or disruptions, AI can make a real-time adjustment where, if we have a cancellation or emergency, they can adjust the schedules based on the technicians and the location, and dispatch accordingly, maybe reschedule a job automatically based on the criteria. So it can really help us minimize service disruptions.
Perfect. I think you touched upon scheduling, smart scheduling. You touched upon maybe route optimization. You touched upon predictive maintenance, and I think probably I'm just culling out some of the the key takeaways. Kind of putting this together. So maybe route optimization. You also talked about, I think, real-time adjustments on field with the technicians, and you talked about one was this resource allocation. So these are some of the key points that you touched upon. And quickly, so when we are moving on to this, the next immediate things comes is out of this, I get the keyword of always the main power user called the technicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of AI really making an impact with the technicians, how would it help maybe extending that smart helper mode to the technicians? How does it really, in your view, that would really impact technicians?
Yeah, so I think this is going to have a huge impact on our business and field services. Just the fact that it can enhance the skills of the technician pretty much by providing them with the, real-time access to our knowledge base or technical documentation, troubleshooting documents. We work heavily with project-specific procedure documents, and there's certain rules and steps that the technicians have to take. So in order for them to learn that for all the different projects that we may be using them on, I think AI is going to be a huge factor in that, and allowing the technician to simply query something and get a fast, quick result. We can also efficiently create workflows to, analyze, say, their performance. If we wanted a rating system for our technicians, so that we're ensuring that we have the best technician for the job, we could feed that information, customer satisfaction ratings, different star ratings, and AI can analyze that data and bring back the absolute best technician for the job, and based on that information as well. We can analyze their performance, like I was saying, and identify different areas of improvement, which allows us to do targeted training for that technician. Because the way that we think about it is, you may be a third-party technician, you may be an in-house technician, you still represent our company, and you're servicing our clients. So we want to give you the best education that we can, and AI can definitely help support that effort. And again, let's say the technician is on site, we can provide remote support where immediately that technician can get support from us, query the information that we have, and it can really enhance the client experience, which is at the end of the day the most important part of service delivery. With proper job satisfaction, making sure that the tasks that may be a little complex can be simplified using AI. We can give certain insights that can deliver the high quality service that we promise to our clients.
Okay, great, wonderful. I think again, to sum up some of the things, my key takeaways would be in terms of your skill enhancement, that you say that they can help provide technicians with the right data the AI can produce, and complex things can be kind of summed up pretty well to give them as user manuals or guides or something like that. They can also do efficient workflows, and then predictive analytics could be one of that, and then remote support. That's kind of the customer experience itself that can provide with them. Maybe after the end of the day, it's technicians who, when they harness the power of AI, they can feel much lighter, right? So maybe kind of ensuring that they're able to do the job quicker, they're able to do very efficiently and all this stuff. I think that's what it made sense out of all these things that you talked about, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think that allows us to create a better relationship with our technicians.
Oh,
for
yeah,
repetitive work.
that's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So, so now that brings me to another thing that when I was thinking about all these new technologies, you always have a kind of essentially some of the safeguard mechanisms. After coming through the hype cycle and all the stuff, people need to think how does AI can be governed? Is there any governance models? Is there anything like that? Any perspective, respective, you know where I'm getting at, right?
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this has been a big topic most recently because of, the accessibility that the general public now has to AI. Um, whereas, we don't see too many governance rules yet around AI or laws or restrictions. So I think it's establishing policies and procedures, on how it collects data, how it stores the data, um, how it protects certain people's information or company information, and the overall security to make sure, that the AI is ethical and responsible. A term that you'll hear often now is responsible AI. So that's a big push for ethical guidelines and principles and guidelines for the usage of AI, which can include issues that like privacy, bias, discrimination. We need to be very careful about that. We need to make sure that the algorithms that run AI are transparent to make sure that they can be understood, they can be audited for fairness, again, bias mitigation, and ultimately accountability. Um, that's very important as this grows. We can't let it get out of hand. So I think governance is a huge portion of what needs to be really focused on. And then we can, identify certain, risks associated with the AI implementation, thinking about like a potential impact that it's going to have on people's jobs, that it's going to have on customer trust and
Mhm.
operational processes. Will it enhance our jobs? Will it replace our jobs? Will it, you know, we need to make sure that it's written in a way or designed in a way that, the customer is getting the best service that they can, as well as our technicians and our employees, to make sure that what we're implementing and how we're using AI is fair to everybody. Um, and with this, you're going to need, stakeholder engagement where it involves various stakeholders, IT professionals, legal experts, um, policymakers, and, a governance model to ensure that all the diverse perspectives, um, and we do it using, being informed and making decisions.
Perfect. So I think you talked about something key, which is called the responsible AI, which
Mhm.
is surrounding your typically data governance. You talked about regulatory issues, the bias you talked about, right? We should be able to have sufficient safeguards so that we don't enter into the bias area. Then
Yeah.
obviously, the risks are always needs to be quantified. What are we getting into? What is that we are doing, right? So yeah, and also essentially involving all the stakeholders, right? The stakeholders could be various people within the IT side of it. Oh, that
Mhm.
reminds me, when you're IT, right? In specifically with respect to IT, right? What are the key aspects that you would essentially look for when you're looking at the IT aspects governing? We talked about governance, but I wanted to, since you are an expert at IT, it just makes sense for me to, um, ask you more on the IT aspects governing AI.
Yeah. So thinking about it from an IT perspective, um, there's quite a few things that need to be considered when implementing AI. So if you think about the backbones of the back end systems, the data infrastructure that's involved in supporting the functionality of AI, it needs to be a robust, it needs to be scalable, um, it's got to be sound in order to collect and store and process tons and tons of data that are required for AI algorithms. The back end, you have your LLM, you have the front end where where you're interacting with. You have to be able to integrate all of the capabilities of AI into different applications in different scenarios. And you got to make sure that as you're doing all of this, that you're very diligent with your data quality and the cleansing of data.
Yeah.
So you want to ensure data accuracy, for instance, and completeness and reliability, so that it can effectively train the AI model for decision making and responses that it may provide. But I think probably one of the most difficult is determining the scalability and the privacy and the performance, because that data is going to grow immensely and quickly, and it needs to be able to handle increasing data volumes and the user demand as more people are using.
Right. So the security,
AI.
Privacy, and all those considerations, right?
Right. Yeah.
So and
security measures,
ethical considerations, maybe something like that. Yeah, all those stuffs you touched upon pretty well on the integration capabilities, data quality and cleansing, and data infrastructure. Now that that points out to me, say for example, something like a new these things, the Google Bard is there, and then Chat GPT is there, right? Maybe quickly a couple of minutes, maybe talk to all of us about your perspective on Chat GPT and how it could help the customer service support and all the stuffs, and what are the things that you think that would do?
Sure. I think it's a complete game changer for the field service industry. Again, it can provide instant customer support. Let's say we have a on-demand contract with a client, and the printer's not working. We can actually direct the client before sending someone out, to ask the question. We could potentially assist with troubleshooting and provide guidance. We can, also it'll lead to better customer satisfaction and better service, quicker response. One of the big things I think is knowledge sharing. So we can have a centralized knowledge base and allow technicians to access all of that information. Like I said, our PSPs, our best practices, solutions. We can have proactive service, which can reach out to customers proactively, letting them know of an upcoming maintenance window. We can automate all of these tasks that would normally be done by, a human being. We can provide technician with assistance, like I was saying, with the remote support, real time, providing information to support them, chat with a certain person on a bridge line, or just continuously improve efficiency and continuous learning using the Chat GPT or Google Bard.
Okay, so what do you call the reinforced or the continuous learning that you think about using Chat GPTs, and also the customer support? We've seen some of our customers really enjoying that particular mode of using these Chat GPT, the bots, and all the stuffs. And that's knowledge sharing is one of the complete thing. So looking at a triage type of situation or something like that. So that's great. I mean, so I think maybe just as we are towards the end of the session, I'd like to sum up that we have delved a little deep into what is the transformative potential of AI in field service, especially with field service industry kind of evolving, and then AI on top of it. I think there's immense potential with that. So with that, all the viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Mike. And if you have any questions, feel free to always look us up at www.fsmglobal.com, fsmglobal.com. And we look forward continuing our interactions. And thank you, Mike, for really giving your perspective on how the transformative potential for AI is going to be, because this is going to be the more impactful in the coming days as we see. And so thank you so much, Mike, and thank you to all the viewers. And thanks. Hope you all enjoyed the session. Thank you.
Thank you.